have got money. We tried to get Baleba and we didn't get him. We have got money. So the fact that the money's there and players are there and they're not doing it, I think you'd be crazy not to think, is this now about them going, Amrim's not the guy? Is this them now going, well, let's not spend any money on him because we might be getting rid of him in May? That's my conclusion, because we know we've got the money and we know we need the players and we know we're crap. And regardless of, and this is the common sense approach. They're obviously not very good, because if I'm Jason Wilcox, I'm saying, well, look, Amrim might be going in May, but I'm not going, am I? So it's quite easy for me to go, I can bring this player in January that will help Amrim, but even if we get rid of him, it'll help the next manager because he's better than what we've got. Like, midfield is basically what I'm saying. If you buy one or even two midfielders in January, they will still work for the next manager, because whether it's a midfield pivot or a midfield three, most midfielders in world football can play both. So if you could get Elliot Anderson, which we won't, he could play in Amrim's system and he could play in the next manager's system. If you brought Baleba in, he could play in this manager's system and the next manager's system. If you brought Ruben Neves in, he could play in this system and in the other system. So it doesn't even logically make sense. But this is what I mean about the ownership. They're so bad, they probably would think, let's not buy any players for Amrim, let's keep it back for the next manager. But if you've got a good director of football and you've got an intelligent owner, you would say, well, actually, it's a win-win because we've got the money. Let's spend it on a midfielder now that we know is good enough to be good enough for the next manager, but might get this manager out of shit and might get us into Europe, which will bring in £100 million. But they don't seem to think like that. It's like, nah, we'll wait. And also, I know, and you know, our top two midfield priorities are Anderson and Baleba. What would you say as a percentage our chances are of getting even one of them in the summer? Very low if this carries on the way it's going, because we won't have Champions League football.